edition of Coach Speak, and here we go. It's been a fun season. As always, we thank our friends at Artesia Water, artesiawater.com. They have been fantastic sponsors. There's Corey, there's Ira, I'm Jeff. Ben on the ones and twos, and we're going with Frank Martin to start this baby up. Let's go, an old school reference. Get to it, Ben. What do we got?
Hey, I already told everyone before we started recording this is going to be the best show of the year, and I genuinely meant that, guys, so we're excited. This was one of those where I watched, and I texted Ira, and I was like, man, you got to watch this whole thing. I know Ira's sick like me. He enjoys watching these press conferences. I'll tell you one person who did not enjoy this press conference. That's Frank Martin, UMass coach. They lost to UMass Lowell. I think I said that correctly.
Yeah.
By like 15 points, and he was not happy.
Oh.
Thanks everyone for joining. I'm going to make a brief opening statement.
Yeah, we've got no individual toughness, and every time we play all these teams, they're all senior-laden teams that got guys that are disciplined and play for a purpose. They play for winning. They don't play for individual stats. We don't have the individual toughness, discipline, whatever word you want to find, which they're all my responsibilities to create. But we don't have it right now. So until we don't figure out a way to grow there, we continue to be a layup machine for the other team.
Nice.
Unwilling to give the effort on rotations to get to the ball. We're going to continue to lose when we play good teams.
Coach, Jaden Jingay, Marquis Worthy, both having career nights in scoring. How are they a huge help down the stretch, especially with
it's a college
baskets and trying to help out with the defensive stand?
Yeah, those two guys play with energy, but complete lack of discipline defensively by both guys. Their energy's good. I enjoy coaching those guys. They're good dudes. They're both sophomores. Maybe they can grow up and become who number 3 is and the guard. I can't remember his number, number 4 or whatever it may be. Maybe they can become that if I can keep them for 4 years. But right now, all the raw stuff is fun and stats are nice. That's good for fantasy sports, irrelevant for winning and losing. And right now we don't have anybody on our team that has the willingness to be disciplined, to play through the difficulty that it takes to win. We don't have that right now.
You mentioned ball screen defense a lot this year.
It's pathetic. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, there we go.
My old fat ass can guard a ball screen better than their centers. It's embarrassing.
Turning them over 21 times, and you also shot 13 more field goals in them. That's usually a recipe to win the game. I guess just in your
I think it's the discipline on defense.
Free throw shooting as well.
How about making a shot?
Yeah.
How about making free throws? How about making wide open shots? How about making layups rather than shoot cute finger rolls? I mean, I wish number 3 would shoot cute finger rolls for them. Maybe we'd have a chance to get him to miss.
Well, he's enamored with that number 3.
We're more concerned with videos and being cute than we are with winning games. Winning games is hard. Winning games is not an easy task. And when you play teams like them, they've got guys that have been together for 4 years and are committed to what they do, which, it's kind of, I'm not here to play the could have been game, but when we were all able to keep our players the way Central Connecticut did, and
whoever these guys are.
Whoever these slap dicks are that just beat our ass by 15.
Now this is a smorgasbord. It's a potpourri of nonsense, what we deal with right now on a daily basis.
Potpourri of nonsense.
But I signed up for the job. I ain't trying to deflect blame. I've got to figure this one out.
What do you think contributed to Curry's struggles in the second half?
Them, fifth-year senior guard. Guys got in foul trouble, so his minutes went down some. Fifth-year senior guard, forced him to his right hand as much as he could. He's not as aggressive going right. I mean, that's credit to them. And then our guys just didn't convert plays. So if you don't convert plays, then you can put more than one body on him, which makes it really hard for him to drive the basketball. So, we gotta. I'm tired of watching film. We pass the ball, we cut, we're open, we take wide open shots. And
you just say I'm tired of watching film?
We miss open threes. We just miss free throws, miss. It's a deflating way to play.
Miss. That's a toughie. By the way, There's two themes there. There's one that he's disgusted by the softness of his players and they're refusing to play defense. The other is whenever he could reference that the other team had a fifth-year senior guard, a four-year junior, it got referenced a lot about how it'd be really nice to have some people who stayed around here for fucking more than a year. He's like that.
Number 3 over there is 29 years old.
Yeah, he's like that dude's 32, balding with a mortgage.
He was on LeBron's high school team. I just looked him up. His name is Quentin Mincy, and he had 27 in that game.
Oof.
He was 8 of 10 from the floor, 4 of 5 from 3, 7 of 9 from 7 of 9 from the free throw line. And UMass was they missed 14 free throws in that game, but they also gave up 96 points. They gave up 96 points to UMass Lowell after losing to Central Connecticut State. I think Frank Martin's not long for the college football coaching world. College basketball. Either one. He's not going to be coaching either one.
Do you remember there was a time many, many moons ago where UMass was a program of note?
Yeah.
And now they're out here losing.
There was a time when Frank Martin was in the Final Four.
Yes.
Right? Didn't he get them South Carolina to the Final Four?
Yeah.
The smorgasbord, a potpourri of nonsense was, I think, my favorite part. And then also what could you have done? And he's like, how about make a shot?
Yeah.
How about put the ball in the hole?
Miss.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I do like it when coaches sometimes get past all the jargon and nonsense and analytics, and they're just like, look, man, we had 15 missed layups.
Yeah.
You kind of got to make a layup. What are we doing out here? That's good. Good for you, Frank. I hope he sticks around. Doesn't sound like he will, though, Corey. I think you're
Does
right.
not. Keep losing to UMass Lowell and Central Connecticut State. You're probably not long for the
losing to teams you don't know their name.
Or have never heard of, ever. Yeah. I mean, I know where Lowell, Mass is, but good God, man. Yeah. This is all right, Ben, what do we got?
With a spoiler alert, it's going to be hard to tough that one. Let's go to a Coach Speak favorite, Dave Aranda. Been a while since we've heard from him. I think Baylor finished 8-4.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give him an extension. He talks about the struggles to start the season and how they overcame it in recruiting. This was from signing day.
What was it like when you were 2-4 and you went out on the trail that week? Like, what kind of reception? Were you almost having to kind of explain, hey, it's coming kind of thing?
Yeah. That was probably the toughest time. We had some of our top guys, looking around, and everyone wants a spot to, insurance. Everybody wants insurance, and so that was the time where all of that was happening. I think when you're in the building, though, you know that it's turning. You can see it. We're so close, and all of it. And so, when you get out on the outside, and then maybe you're trying to make eye contact, and people don't make eye contact with you, and you try to catch their eyes and where they're at, then it kind of hits you that I see now. I see it.
I think you stuck,
because
Dave.
in the building, you just felt, man, we're so close. We're right there, right? And so I think the ability to kind of have that inside enabled us to take it outside, and I think the guys saw that.
That's a horrible answer. What a horrible answer to that question. And we love Dave. Dave's our guy.
It's made up nonsense, but it's so perfectly Dave. The thing is, does it still strike you guys as odd that my man coaches on the defensive side of the ball, that he's a defensive – I mean, have you ever heard a more person in your life like out here trying to coach defense? That's crazy.
I would love the hidden tapes, like those secret tapes to come out of him just like headbutting the wall.
Yes.
Throwing stuff everywhere. It's got to be somewhere. There has to be somewhere.
Corey, do you know, what did he play? He had to have been a defensive player. What did he play? Do you know?
I mean, I always assumed he was just a defensive analyst since he was 9 years old. I even think on Little League teams he was just kind of calming the sidelines down, telling everybody it's fine. We get Cokes.
Like a safety or a corner or something?
I guess. I don't know. Maybe he was an All-American.
Could have been a speedy D2 linebacker. Maybe.
I mean, like the thing is that I keep thinking if he played linebacker, how did he do so with this disposition? How in the world? It's going to be okay, guys. They got 7 yards on that run. Now we gotta buck up here, guys, and make a tackle. I mean, like that's kind of crazy to me that he is that way.
It's the whole thing. The whole Dave Aranda vibe has been just so bizarre.
He was a linebacker.
There we go.
Nuts. That's nuts to me.
I'm going to say maybe D3, maybe? D2,
No,
D3?
after high school, Aranda retired from playing football due to injuries.
Oh.
So he became an assistant coach. So he was a linebacker in high school.
That's still surprising, but okay, I feel better knowing he didn't play college linebacker. There's no way. There's no way you're out here it's all right.
Also, do you think somebody got to him? Because the thing we always talked about last year when we thought he was going to get fired was I appreciate that. I appreciate that. He doesn't do that anymore.
No, he stopped.
So somebody above had to say, man, quit doing that. Quit telling people you appreciate the question and just answer the question. Why are you even telling people you appreciate the question?
Well, he could appreciate these questions. Like this question today, he could have appreciated.
Exactly right. And I feel like that reporter would be like, man, that's a pretty good question, Dave.
Yeah, you know,
how about showing some appreciation?
Question?
Yeah.
That's about the best one. I give you a softball to brag about how you turned it around.
The problem was the ones last year where they're like, how do you justify coming in this building every day with this product on the field?
I appreciate that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Dave, your defense sucks ass and you suck ass. I appreciate that.
Appreciate that thought. Appreciate that sentiment. I understand where it's coming from.
Now
if you're outside the program, Steve, that's how you might look at this. But,
now he's steady winning games, 8 wins, and he didn't want to appreciate anything. It's a chicken or the egg thing, I think, really. We need to figure out. Maybe somebody will ask him, do you think the uptick in play correlates with you stopping appreciating questions?
Yeah.
Is there correlation?
Got down to not appreciating a damn thing, but getting some stops. Yeah. Let's go.
I think I would legit ask him, why did he stop saying that? Because he said it for every question. So why did he stop saying that? I think that's a story in itself. More than making eye contact with people outside the building, I think I'd want to know why he stopped appreciating the question.
You can tell Dave is sensitive and Dave reads a lot. I think he's smart. So my guess is Dave was told by somebody, a communications expert of sorts, that it's good to call somebody by name, look in their eye when you answer their question, tell them you appreciate the question. And he took it and ran with it. He took it and ran with it, and it got excessive, and then it became a verbal crutch. So that same communications expert probably said, hey, man, that's a crutch now. You don't have to say that every single time. I was just making suggestions. Yeah, I mean, come on. Ben,
he also was a roommate in college with Tom Herman. At Cal Lutheran. They were roommates together.
They couldn't be any more different, by the way.
That's crazy, those two guys.
Think
of all the parties they had. Those parties were like
insufferable. Yeah. What do we got, Ben?
All right, how about another Coach Speak legend, James Franklin? Penn State put up a good fight against Oregon. Unfortunately, the Oregon band made things a little difficult on James in the post-game press conference.
The band's fault.
How's this a smart setup?
Yeah. This is for Drew. Wait. We can hang tight for just a second. We'll try to get that audio turned down next door.
Audio? It's a band.
I got no issue with them celebrating, but this is kind of a JV setup.
All right, let's go ahead.
This is for Drew. Drew, can you take us through that last play?
I was hoping the band would kick right back in.
You and me both. I wanted to hear that band kick in.
Ben, can we play it one more time? Because the second time I watched this, I love the guy, the player on Franklin's right, so the left on the screen. Like his reactions are awesome too. Because like Franklin, you're focused on Franklin, but the kid on the left with the high top, he's just like, "What the f is this?" He keeps looking over like he's as mad as Franklin is.
It's Mickey Mouse bullshit.
Look at him. Watch him. Watch in a second. He'll be like.
Yeah, he's like, what? What are we doing here? Yeah, he smiled even. That's funny.
The hand motion is good. It's like, what are we doing? What is this nonsense here?
This is the Big Ten championship here.
Also, give it up to Franklin right off the bat because he sounds like a classic mafioso. He's like, what is this? What are we doing here?
Is this really the best setup?
What are we doing? What are we doing here? Yeah, this is.
I know this is my first time in this game. But if it's going to keep being like that, I don't want to be back. I don't want to be back in this JV setup. This is usually Ohio State.
JV setup. That is so good.
I like that. There was also, real quick, the self-awareness of him to realize that he doesn't want to come off as like petty because he's like, I got no problem with them celebrating.
Yeah, they can celebrate. They can celebrate all they want. Yeah.
Do we have a press conference?
Just shut the band up.
Yeah. Who's number 4 on here, Ben? What do we got?
A weird set of circumstances in Huntington, West Virginia. Charles Huff, he's been on the show before. We've had him on here several times. He takes Marshall to a conference championship. They destroy Louisiana Lafayette. Then several days later, he takes the Southern Miss job. So this is kind of a little ominous in hindsight, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but it's interesting for sure to look back on. This is him after winning that Sun Belt championship.
Yeah, fam.
You too, fam.
Oh, no? No? Yeah, I mean, the championship that. There you go. As long as there's still, grass to defend, we got to defend it. And we got to defend it like it's our last life lesson. Coach Seymour talks to the defense all the time about, military's soldiers and military personnel, they die for their country. And sometimes out there you got to be willing to die for your country and your zone and your gap and your responsibility, regardless of how it makes you feel. People don't care how you feel in life. No one cares if you wake up and your tummy hurts. People care what you do. So in these scenarios, you got to do your job. And we talk to our guys about that. In life, you got to go to work and do your job. Your boss doesn't care if you woke up and your tummy hurts or if you caught a red light, you were late to work. You got to do your job, and that's just exactly what it is. 20 plays, got down in the situation where it was backed up. You still got to do your job, and to see the guys step up and execute in that moment was really good.
Coach, what's next for you?
Well, I'm going to go in here and try to celebrate with the team. You guys have held me in here hostage for 40 minutes, but I got a locker room full of guys who
40 minutes.
I just want to hug and say thank you, because sometimes that's enough. Thank you for everything. And then we're going to try to load the plane and go home, and it should be a line of people waiting for us when we get back. This group of players made history. Hopefully Huntington can smile a little bit brighter. I know it's late. Some people may have went to bed, but when you wake up tomorrow, stick your chest out a little bit brighter, because
you don't do that.
Marshall University are champions again.
But I'll be somewhere else. But stick the chest out with pride.
I'm taking it on down the road, boys.
Did you guys see his press conference when he, I guess, got introduced at Southern Miss? He talked about, he was explaining how the whole thing happened. He was on his last year of his contract, and they just basically Marshall decided they weren't going to offer him an extension, and so he was like, "Okay, I'm fine, whatever." And when he kept explaining, he's like, "Of course, that was before we won the championship." And then he would say, 2 minutes later, he's like, "Well, of course, that was before we won the championship."
Championship.
Yeah, and
nicely done. Awesome. By the way, so that initial story early on was that the entire Marshall team was going to go with him.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
That was like there was rumors that the entire team was going to transfer to wherever he went. And the thing that's crazy about that is, I read that headline 4 days ago and thought, it's possible.
It could happen.
There are no rules against it. This is where we are in college football.
It's just a matter of Huntington versus Hattiesburg at that point, right?
Yeah.
That is tough choices in life. I get it. I'm sure they both have beautiful things to offer, but neither one is a hotbed. But not like Tallahassee, not like Metropolis Tallahassee game.
It's a tough one, though, if you're the AD or the president who decided, you know what, we're not going to extend this guy.
And then he wins it.
And then he goes and wins the championship. Yeah.
And then basically, at least to some degree, is going to take your roster.
Yeah.
With the guys that just won championships, he's going to take it with him down over to Southern Miss.
Them the breaks. The breaks. Did he really say 40 minutes, Ira?
That's what he said. Now, the players were in there at the beginning, so maybe they talked.
No way, any SID
40s.
Maybe the SID was mad at him because he was leaving. And he's like, I'm not going to stop this thing. Keep answering. But a 40-minute press conference is outrageous.
I think I'd be fair with the press if I were a coach, and I'd answer tough questions and all that, and I'd be courteous. I wouldn't be rude to him. But I'd tell you what I would do. I'd walk in and be like, let's get to crack-a-lacking.
Yeah, 20 minutes. The clock starts now. 20 minutes. Ask me anything you want.
Let's go. Let's get to. Yeah.
Conference championship game press conferences can get a little lengthy.
Yeah.
Because you don't have anything. It's not like they got to get up early to practice.
The other team has to go first too, so you're waiting for that to be done. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Ben, what do we got?
Guys, another Coach Speak legend. This is Mick Cronin. Big upset for UCLA over number 12 Oregon. It looks like he's being held hostage again, and there's only one reporter there once again. So fun stuff.
Eric Daly had a big game.
Yeah.
You did go away from him a little bit late in the second half, and they made a run.
Yeah, and his scoring was good, but we were struggling. When he didn't block out on the foul line, it's hard to, that's about as bad as you can. So once he got us the lead with his offense.
Yeah.
So I was trying to get a better defensive lineup in there.
Yeah.
He's still a young guy, hasn't been coached a lot on a defensive end. So he's still got to get better with that.
That
Plus,
is crazy.
He's going to have a little 6 a.m.
It's a very unfortunate image to the lower left of the screen. That's
defensively, we were bad down the stretch, and anybody that knows me knows that just crushes me. I'm not used to that. I'm used to teams struggle to get the ball in the basket, but not give up easy baskets or foul or not block out at the foul line with the game on the line like that. I'm not used to that at all.
Sebastian gave you a nice lift.
Yeah, he's been good all year. Yeah. I don't look at, it's just nice to bring him on, because he injects offense. I can, I call it, when he comes in, you're actually getting better. Even though he's only a sophomore, you're getting better when he comes in. So that's why I'm not starting him. But I don't look at him like a guy. I look at him like, probably
the shadow is growing.
Player.
Oh, that would shrink it again.
Definitely on the perimeter. Yeah. But I just still think we got to get Tyler Bilodeau more involved offensively. How many shots he get?
Tyler, 11.
Yeah. He's got to get at least that, I think. And obviously, he's got to make sure we're up 4. He's got to get fouled or score and put the game on ice with 40-something seconds left.
This is where UCLA basketball is today.
Yeah.
Which is what happened.
A dude with a notebook in the hallway with cinder blocks.
A dark hallway. A dark elementary school looking hallway.
They've got more money than most schools. The hospital there and everything. I mean, they pay. It's crazy. What are we doing?
Also, can we please go back to coaches wearing suits, man? Please.
Yeah, that one.
I feel like there's no way he wore that during the game. I thought he had showered and put that on for the plane.
I hope, because that thing was ridiculous. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the sweatsuit coaches thing anyway, but that was ridiculous. If he coached in that,
I can't imagine.
He's usually dressed to the nines. To his credit, he's usually really dressed. He even wears a vest and
yeah, man. But I don't know, man. I don't know many basketball coaches that shower after a game or they talk.
Ira, have you ever seen a setup like that? That might have been back in the dungeon before we don't know where he was and what he was doing. Yeah. But there's no way if he was going to coach in a sweatsuit, it would at least be UCLA colors.
I also, even if that was it might be it was on the road. Even if it was
yes, of course, yeah, it was definitely on the road.
You would think UCLA basketball. I know the times are tough in the media, but you would imagine that they have a media contingent that follows them around.
It's Los Angeles. It's UCLA. Yeah. You would think, yeah.
Also, you would think the Pac-12 would make it mandatory that he would have to go sit in a press conference room,
right,
and talk to the Oregon guys too. So I'm thinking maybe there's a chance this guy got him after the press conference and after the shower and got his own stuff because he had driven or he'd flown to the game. He was going to give him some extra time. Because if that's just the post game, because I did that with Florida State before. If that's just the post game for UCLA basketball, time to stop caring about college basketball.
Yeah, this is on the official UCLA page.
Unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
By the way, sign of the times, Corey. It's the Big Ten, sir.
Oh, my fault. You're right. You're right. What did I say? The Pac-8?
You're out here talking about the Pac-12.
Yeah, my fault.
Bygone era of basketball.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The Big Ten. That's my bad. Well, they were playing Oregon, so that's why I was confused. Another Big Ten.
Another Big Ten powerhouse, by the way. Big Ten champions, I might add. Go for it, Ben.
We'll go to the Houston Rockets coach, Ime Udoka, who comments on what Elperin Sengun needs to improve on.
Okay. Ben's on fire.
I think I butchered both of those names.
You did. You especially
just continue to be a physical presence on both sides, but really my thing is to concentrate on the things you can control, which is looking to score and not looking to get fouled as much, playing through contact and not looking for a call or letting missed shots affect you on the other end. And so they went after him tonight. Anytime he had it in the post and he found guys, and that was the reason we had those wide open looks. And so some nights it's going to be a scoring thing, some nights it's going to be facilitating, and he has to be able to do both. But my biggest thing with him is I say to him, get the European out of your game and play through stuff. Stop crying.
Stop crying.
Well done.
Get the European out of your game.
Get
He's
that
not
European out of your game, you soft ass.
Yeah, no lie. That's funny.
None of that nonsense out here. I like Ime. I mean, I don't know whatever happened there in Boston, but I like Ime, the coach, because he demands everybody play defense.
Well, yeah, man. You just saw they beat the Warriors. I mean, I know they barely beat the Warriors, but yeah, they're good. They're a much better team, and they play hard.
He's a good coach.
He is. He is.
He also needs to learn that it's time to give it up. There's nothing going on up there, Ime. Let's go.
I don't know if that's true. I think he's got a little more.
Oh, you stop it, Corey. Go back and look at that.
I guess I wasn't looking that closely. I thought he had some darkness up there.
Corey also fought the fight a lot
He
longer.
did. He fought longer than most. That's true. Yeah, he's
a lot more
partial to those that fight the good fight to the very.
I didn't give up like you. I didn't run for the hills immediately.
I have more hair than you do now.
I know. Yeah. But you got rid of it quick.
Because I wasn't going to be bastardizing. I mean, what were we doing? We all know the deal. We're going bald.
Yeah.
If we were closer back then, Corey, I would have pulled you aside. But we're closer now than we were then. I didn't have the.
And also, in hindsight, if I'd have known I was going to look this good bald, I'd have done it years ago. Right, Ira? You were
and I know how bad I would look. That's why I'm fighting.
Right. You are fighting the fight. Yeah.
You're gonna
it looks okay with you, Ira, because it's white hair. It's very grandfatherly. I like it. It's okay.
You and Ime. You and Ime need to. You and Ime.
Grandfatherly.
It's grandfatherly.
Right, we're all we're ages of.
Your daughters are almost all out of college, Ira. You could be a grandfather. Hell.
What we got next, Ben? It's ridiculous.
Let's go back to college football for our next two. This is Tim Polasek. God, these pronunciations this week. I'm pretty sure I've
even the word pronunciations is giving you trouble.
This is North Dakota State's head coach on his starting safety entering the transfer portal.
Yeah, that's a toughie.
From trying to figure out if he's healthy or not, is he going to make a run at it? To you get a phone call or hey, coach, I was going to come in and see you.
Mountain Dew.
We're moving on. We've got 2 young safeties that need to get better, that are going to get better, that are going to be good players in this program. We got 2 more behind them that are really hungry. We got a Ryan Jones guy that's getting better, and so we'll focus on those kids and move forward like we're going to do as long as I'm here. We're going to coach the guys that show up and want to be coached. And there's a lot of kids that love this program, and I'm honored to coach them.
So they're starting safety.
Yeah,
they're still playing. I just looked it up.
Yes.
At least before we record this, they might lose to Mercer, but they're in the playoffs, and their starting safety bounced with games still to be played.
But it sounded like he wasn't giving him a good answer. Like, it wasn't really confirming it. It just was.
But then he also might have been injured, and he could have been working himself back to get in the rotation. Instead, he just said he was leaving.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that he announced that, and originally there was somebody that asked the player, and he said something like, "Well, I can't help when the transfer portal opens. I got to put my name out there."
Well, I mean, he's not wrong.
Kind of, though. You've got until what, the 28th?
Yeah, if you're still playing, they can do it after. And if you're a good player, really good player, then they're going to wait for you. Schools aren't.
If you're a really good player, you can also just tell somebody like, "Hey, man, I'm not going to do this while I'm in the middle of a playoff run, but you guys both know I'm leaving." So,
do you think it? So that's a good question. So, remember, we've always heard so many things through the years about the questions that guys get at the combine, and how much do you really care about your teammates? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? You're seeing these college kids Florida State obviously just signed Thomas Castellanos, who left his team midseason. This kid, are other schools, do they care? Is that going to limit this kid's ability, the fact that he walked out in the playoff, or people are going to be like, I don't care?
I think the fact that he's injured sounds like helps him a little bit. It would be a horrible look if he just bounced with the most important game of the season coming up. That would be awful.
That's the hard part. Yeah.
How could you do it? Because then he might do it to you next year. When you're playing a really important game late in the season.
And Ira, to your point, I do think each situation has to be judged differently. They're in the playoffs, man.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But Castellano and BC ain't going nowhere. I mean, it's I'm not forgiving it. I'm just saying, the severity of these things have to be judged individually.
We're overlooking the most important facet of that press conference is that how we've watched hundreds of these things on our on this show and just in our lives, thousands. There's always a water bottle that never gets unopened, or a Coke bottle in Nick Saban's case.
You like the Mountain
My
Dew.
man just guzzles Mountain Dew before answering a question. That's awesome. Nobody's done that. That's a coach speak first. Nobody has Mountain Dew on the podium, and if they did, it's the sponsor. They're certainly not going to just. I mean, they do things different in North Dakota. God bless him, man. He needed his Mountain Dew, and he got it.
Time to get it on. What do we got, Ben?
All right, next up we got Shane Beamer, South Carolina coach, on missing the college football playoff. He had some interesting thoughts on SMU and the other teams in the playoff.
It's come across a long way that, man, I'm glad we didn't get in the playoff but in some ways, the playoff's tough. And I've said it in here before, or somebody asked me on an interview, may not have been in here, about the playoff. And the one thing that I didn't like about the playoff is if you play a first-round game and you lose, your season's over. And there is no bowl game. And the playoff, as great a town as South Bend, Indiana is, Indiana, the University of, is not going to South Bend to spend 4 days in South Bend on like a bowl trip. And who's
that would
playing
be awesome
Penn
if they
State?
did.
SMU. SMU is not going to go spend a week in State College and go visit Hershey, PA, and see like the chocolate factory and stuff. And bowl games are special. And the fact that we get to, and again, this isn't Shane saying, man, I'm glad I'm not in the bowl game because I get to do this.
Kind of sounds like
in the playoff. We would have loved to have been in a playoff.
He referred to himself in the third
the opportunity
person.
that we get to go spend a week in Orlando. We'll go down there on the 26th, I think, is when we arrive. So we got
theme parks
there together as a team, and our players and our coaches' families getting to experience all the amazing things there in Orlando.
The traffic on I-4
or whatnot is an awesome opportunity.
Orange Blossom
that our players
Trail.
are really looking forward to.
That's
It's a way to. I thought he was going to come off as like petulant.
Yeah.
But no, that he completely flipped it. And is like, I kind of am okay with being in a bowl game. We get to go enjoy. We're getting rewarded for our 9-win season. There's no pressure, and we get to go enjoy beautiful Orlando for an entire week instead of having to go to South Bend and try to win a national championship. Who gives a fuck about that?
Man, if you lose in that playoff thing, your season's
over.
over.
Yeah, that's it.
No Disney World. You don't get to go to a theme park the next day. I mean,
Wild Adventures? Is that in Disney? No, that's not Disney. That's
Georgia.
I was hoping he would lean into ripping South Bend as a town because it's bullshit.
It's not great.
The town sucks ass.
It would be funny to have a bowl there, though. Like, what do you do each day? Today you get to go walk in a field.
You empathize with the people who live in South Bend.
Yeah, you get to shovel snow.
You look around and go, ooh.
Your reward is you get to leave.
Yeah.
Get this over with.
We're not making you stay here any longer.
That's a gloomy, dark place, baby. Go ahead, Ben. What do we got?
Two more left, guys. We'll go back to college basketball now. This is Dennis Gates at Missouri.
Oh.
So they beat Kansas,
Yeah.
and coach called a timeout so Kansas could head back to the locker room before they stormed the court, and he discussed that here.
You had that timeout at the end of the game where you let Kansas team kind of get off the court. What was your kind of thinking there? And when you kind of decide, hey, they're probably going to start the court, I should let them get off?
Sportsmanship. That's all it is, sportsmanship, and that's how I would want to be treated. When I become a Hall of Fame coach and I'm the #1 team in the country, I will want my opponent to respectfully do the same. And no matter what, no matter what's going on, I'm always going to treat people how I want to be treated, regardless. And I think player safety is important. I got upset at the table for making an announcement to tell our fans not to rush the court. You got to be kidding me. I was about to, in game, take the mic and say, rush the damn court. For real. And I just think they deserve that moment, but I didn't want it at the cost of a player getting hurt, getting ran over, getting trampled, because it's a tight squeeze in that area for the players to leave. And it's all about respect, man. And, some people look at it a certain way. I just look at it, that's how I want to be treated.
He handled that well.
Our guy, Gates, our guy.
So a little background, he would have been on the staff when Roy
probably
it had to have been because Snare hit that shot later in the year. So Dennis Gates was an assistant at Florida State when Roy Williams, who was #1 in the country, and they got beat by 30.
Yeah.
Davis Dulkey's still hitting threes. They left with like 30 seconds left. He took his starters not only off the court, he took them back. He left. They left the court and let the walk-ons out there.
Basically anybody on scholarship got to leave.
So he cared very much about the safety of his good players.
Yes, which, hey, man, at least he was real about it. Yeah. Did Joey make it back?
We'll send somebody back for you.
Yeah.
So I wonder, I didn't see the end of that game. Did Bill Self do the same thing? Did he leave 5 walk-ons on the court?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I know that Gates called the timeout because Self talked about it also, and he was appreciative.
But Gates got that probably because that's what Roy Williams did, and he probably called a timeout and said, "Hey, get your team out of here, so we can."
It's also there's a little bit of condescending there. It's a little.
If you want to take it that way,
I'm just saying, like, it would be kind of fun to do if you were the one pulling the upset timeout. Hey, listen, this ass kicking's about over, Steve.
We've got 15,000 people are about to be on this court.
You know, and I know this is over. It's been over for 5 minutes. You take it on down the road. Yeah.
The thing I love so much about that is for him to be like, no, please rush the damn court.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Missouri, apparently that's their 5th ever win against the number 1 team. So yeah, man, enjoy it. Like I hate the people who are like, oh, let's win with class and we've been there. No, man, rush the damn court. I'm all for it.
But I was just looking up the score. They only won by like 7, I thought, or did they win by more than that?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
Oh, they beat them by 9.
Okay.
So with 35 seconds left, I mean, crazy things have happened. I mean, think of all the times a coach should have done that. Like, hey, man, I know you're down 6 with 12 seconds left. Go ahead, get them off the court. Game's over.
That would be really funny if it starts happening. Look, you're down 2 with 5 seconds to play.
We're good.
Get you guys out of here. We want to for player safety.
As well as I do, you're not going to make that shot. Let's just move it on down the road here.
It's like in golf, being like, so I'm just tapping that in, right? I'm just counting that, right?
It's a 14-footer. It's a 14-footer. I'm making that.
That's within the leather. We're good. Yeah. Ben, final one. Let's do it.
All right. In honor of today's Kentucky-Louisville game, I had to get Pat Kelsey here on the show. So he was asked about playing Duke, UTEP, and Kentucky consecutively as the Louisville coach and just what that meant emotionally for the program.
Get a bunch of free sneakers. I wear sweatsuits to work. My kids are healthy. My wife's hot. I got a pretty good life. We get to play college basketball. We get to play in the Yum Center. We get to get ready for Utah. My dad used to say it all the time. Like I would say, Dad, you got to go to work today? He said, son, I get to go to work today. Right? Heck yeah. The schedule's been a little bit difficult. We've had some adversity, but this guy's been awesome. The process has been great. Results will take care of themselves, and just on to the next one. The most important game in the history of the program is the next one we play, and that's that one on Saturday. About 3 hours ago, it was this one right here. It's the deal.
I love I get free sneakers. I get free sweatsuits.
Life's good, man.
How bad can my life be?
Yeah, I'm rich. He could have
crazy. I don't know what his wife's maiden name is, but I did look her up. He's not wrong. She's also taller than him.
Yeah,
like substantially. Like
I wonder
she looks
if she was
like
a player.
6'1" or something. Yeah, they must have met on a basketball court somewhere. Ira.
We're most love. That's where you and Steph met, right?
Yeah. I was running layup drills for UMass for Frank Martin.
I remember those days, Corey. You used to love to just run layup drills.
The weave. He'd run the weave by himself.
Yeah, picket fence by myself. I did a lot of things by myself before I met Steph.
Over and over. There's Corey out there laying it up.
I'm curious how much happier, Ben, how much better do you sleep at night knowing that that's your head coach?
Yeah.
As opposed to
complete 180. It's night and day difference than what we saw last year with our guy Kenny Payne. I had to find a way to work him in there just so you guys can see how different it is.
A little more charisma.
Thing is we won't get a rant about the leggings.
Yeah.
And I'm saddened by that. Yeah.
That wasn't even a rant. That was one of the all-time great moments in Coach Speak history when he talks about one of his players not going into the game because he didn't have his leggings. But he said it just kind of like, number one, he said it, which was crazy enough out loud.
Like it's a normal thing.
But then not like losing his mind like Frank Martin would have. He's just like, hey, can you believe that? He wouldn't go into the game. Next question. It's like crazy. You would have thought he would be wanting to pick up the podium and flip it.
Ben, good work, buddy, putting it all together. Our thanks to the folks at Artesia Water, artesiawater.com for your water service, of course. And for Corey and Ira, I'm Jeff. We're going to be kind of intermittent, I think, here in the weeks to come. Yeah, so for the holidays. So,
hey, Coach of the Week, is it Frank?
Oh, good question.
Frank, right? I was just about to get there. It's Frank, right?
It's got.
I like Dennis Gates. I thought Dennis Gates deserved it. Not only the letting him leave the court, but then talking about wanting him to rush the court. He's like, and also he didn't bring it up. They were winless in the SEC last year, right? Didn't they go 0-20?
They had a weird year where they fell off a cliff. Yeah,
they had a bunch of injuries and a couple.
So they went 0-20 in the SEC, and then a year later they just beat Kansas. So good for him. And rush the court. I thought that was funny. Well
that's done. A good one. I'm still going with Frank.
All right, that's fair.
I'm so torn, man.
Dennis is our guy. We all love Dennis.
Gates is my guy.
But yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But Frank was right. I mean, make a layup.
Frank's kind of what this show is all about.
Frank's more of what this is about.
Love you, Dennis.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Dennis. We're going with Frank. Peace out, everybody. Happy holidays.